started.
Hey everybody, it's Mo Morales, part of the Moe and O photo
That was
show.
the worst intro ever.
That was the worst.
You think it's better to repeat the same thing over and over, or to like come up with something new each time?
Yes.
You know, like,
it's hard.
what's up, Peter McKinnon? It's like, what's up, everyone? That gets him going.
I think,
does that become too annoying? And
you know what? I think with it the first 2, 3, 4 episodes, it's cool, right? And then like episode 12, you're like, what's up, everybody?
So I always say, hey guys, Omar here. And
Right.
and I try not to,
But
I
it's
can't
you.
start my video.
That's you. That's what we expect.
No. But what I'm saying is like I can't start the video without, you know what? It becomes such habit that if I start a video with like, hello everyone.
You're like, who's in my chair?
Exactly. It's not me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So these things become habit. You even say, you're like, hey everybody.
Hey everybody, it's Uncle
Right?
Mo.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because on my YouTube video, I don't want to say I'm Uncle Mo because I'm not. My Instagram thing is Uncle Mo.
Unky Mo, yeah.
Right. So I do my minute motivational thing. It's, hey, everybody, it's Uncle Mo. But I ended up doing that for my YouTube thing now because it's such a force of habit.
Yeah. And that's right. You used to do your little in the car motivation stuff, and that's how they all started. But it's a relaxing start. That's what your videos are.
That's how you tell your brain we're on. Go.
Let's go. Exactly.
But
mine are becoming so incoherent. I'm like, hey guys, I'm right here. Hey guys, I'm right here. Yeah, it's like, hey guys, I'm right
here. Sorry, a little merengue.
All right, so we thought we'd do something fun in this episode. Or are we bantering?
We're done. It's a wrap on that banter, son.
All right, yeah, we have a lot of talking to do here because we thought this all stemmed from, I was watching a motorcycle podcast called High Side, Low Side from the people at Revzilla, which is a great podcast. If you're into motorcycles, check it out. But I was listening to an older episode in which they tried to build like the dream adventure motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And one person would pick a motor. The other person would pick what they went around and chose the best parts to create the perfect motorcycle. Now, they were a little confused with the rules. So one guy was coming up with dream, like things that don't exist, and they brought him back down to earth.
Like, bring it in, Harvey. Bring it in, Harvey. You're over too far.
It was like making a super ultra lightweight, very powerful motorcycle, which can't exist. So the rules are... There are no rules, but we are going to... Yeah, it's our show, damn it. We can do whatever we want. We broke it up into 2 categories because it's going to be really hard to pick the best camera. So we broke it up into, hey, larger, you're going on a safari or you're shooting weddings kind of camera.
Right.
And then smaller, which is street, travel, family, your fun
camera.
Yeah, your fun camera. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, cool. Now that the ground rules have been laid.
Boom, boom.
Here we go. All right, do you want to do like each category larger, smaller, or do you want to knock out the larger and then do all the smaller?
I think we should go both because we may not get all the way to the bottom of one.
You're right. That's smart.
We tend to distract each other.
That's a good point. All right, great. So let's start with overall meta, the body of the camera. So give me some of your dream, some of our categories here we have written down are the actual feel, the grip of the camera, what's on the top of the camera, the doors that it has, that kind of stuff. So let's start with like grip, dream camera.
So a dream camera grip for me would have to be a Nikon style grip because as coming from the Nikon world in the DSLR, that's what brought me to Nikon. I picked up a Canon. I'm like, get this soft sugar stuff out of my hand. And then I picked up the Nikon D5000. I was like, it's what I need. It's what I want. And something about that's a D700 rattling in my hands. Something about the ergonomics of their design is just flawless. I've grabbed there's the original 7 and 7 Nikon Z7, sorry, the original Z6, and I really enjoyed them. Omar's C6 is 2. is also a really, really fun to hold camera. It has a deep well for your hand to fit in there completely. You're not banging up against the lens.
Yeah, the knuckle drag thing.
Knuckle to lens ratio is perfect.
It is. There is like no, taking skin off there.
There isn't, like here with the A7C. And this is the Sony A7C, which is a very beautiful small camera, but it gives you the
knuckle scratch for sure.
You're banging right into it just to try to hold it.
Yeah. So that's yours, the Nikon. I'm going to say that the Nikon D700. Now it's a little tricky because when you have a good grip, that means you kind of have a big body, right? We are talking the large camera.
Large Marge.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is any grip that takes your pinky into consideration. Because you could argue that the Sony, like here's the Sony A7 III, it's a great little camera and a good travel camera, but you need to buy
a gripper.
Yeah. And thanks to you, I have this awesome gripper, by the way, which is great. But this grip doesn't feel as good as the Nikon Z6 II.
Doesn't feel natural.
Yeah. So I'm going to say the D700's grip is the best. You just felt it, but it makes the camera so large that I would say something between like the A7, A6, these letters, these Z6 II and the D700, something between them where the grip is deep, no knuckle scratching.
No knuckle grabbing. That's what it is. It's important to separate your body from the body, and that's right there, the grip well. That's what's key. So to me, on the small ones, you would think I would say Fuji, right? But no, I will give this to Sony on this level because the body, for instance, only one body though. The A6600.
Okay.
It has a deep well because it has the new W battery being used, and it is deep enough to grab. You're still going to lose a little pinky, but on all the small ones, you're going to lose a little pinky without adding an extra piece. So I think for me, the small body would have to have the grip of the A6600.
Okay, for me, on a small camera, I know I'm sacrificing grip because I want to put the camera in the tiniest bag possible or a pocket. So I would say something like, feel this guy. This is the XE2. Put your thumb there. You feel that little...
Yes, it's like meant for my thumb to go right there.
You see what I'm saying?
It's like intuitive. It's intuitive.
You see, and initially you had your thumb on. You didn't even know where to put your thumb.
No, I didn't. But the minute I put my thumb on the camera's body, it grooved right there.
Yeah. You see the little curve? So I am looking at the Fuji X72, and this is a very flat camera, but they thought about the minimal ergonomic grip you can have so you can shoot single-handed.
Right.
So for me, a small camera, I don't want the A7C or the 6500 grip. I don't need that on my small camera.
Gotcha.
I want it to look like a ice cream bar, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense because your dream is compact portability yet good grip.
Agreed.
Minimalist grip on a body. That's it right there.
Great. All right, so doors on a large. What do you have on the A7C?
So we have a combination of pull open, close, and then the...
Oh, so your flappy door? Is that a flappy door?
No.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't flap around.
I actually liked those doors on the A7C.
I was actually going to say the A7 III jokingly because of their... look what I wrote here. A7 III Viagra doors.
Oh, the flappy doors.
The flappy
the worst.
doors. Yeah, they're like...
Yes, but I'm talking about the
other side with the battery where the cards go in.
The cards. Let's talk about card slots.
Okay.
So the card slot options are the typical Nikon where you pull the door back, it snaps, and then it flings open by itself. Yeah. I kind of like that. The Sony is a little button, which you push down and the door flips.
I love that too.
Yeah. And then on the Nikon, it's the same. You know what? After trying them out tonight, I like this. I like the Nikon Z6 II and the Nikon where you pull and it flips open and then you close the whole mother.
All right. Well, the closing part is more complex. I think with this one, I'm gonna go with the simple XT4.
Oh, with the little
Because all you do, you clip it, it pops, and when you close it, you don't have to
that's
readjust the
one
click.
step less. Okay,
Yes.
let me explain this, people. I
Yes.
like that. So would this be considered a large camera or small?
Well, it's a small camera, right? It's the largest.
All right, we have a medium category.
It's the largest crop sensor we have on the table.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's pretend it's in the large category. So the XT4 Moe is right. It has a little flap which opens up, and then to close, it just closes
You
like
just
a
close
door.
the door.
Yeah.
You close the door. You don't have to worry about somebody like busting in that bathroom stall on you. You know what I mean?
And by the way, all this stuff is like intuitive after you have the camera for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when I'm shooting the A7 III, like to change my cards, I know where the thing is already.
Right, and you know what you have to do when you're resecuring it.
I will say, dream camera wise, that the direction that you put I didn't think about this, but the direction that you put the SD cards is important because the Sonys are backwards.
Sony is backwards. Yes.
Not the newer cameras, but this one the
No.
label goes wrong.
Well, the A7C is backwards too. What we're saying is that we don't read the label of the memory card. We have to turn around and see the gold teeth.
Yeah, the gold teeth.
And then other cameras, when you're inserting the memory card, you see, Scandis or
the
Flimflarn.
label. Yeah.
But you see that, and also when you're taking the lens on and off, Nikon was completely the opposite direction of my Sony's, and Fuji is completely the opposite direction of my
Fuji
Sony.
is the label.
So
And every time I go from Fuji to Sony, it's
have
just
to
a
retrain the
disaster.
brain.
Yeah. So that's another dream camera. I want labels out because I want to know if there a 128 in there or a
Right.
64.
now, unless of course you want to make sure you're using the UHS2,
Oh, totally.
is
totally.
that why they want you to see the teeth?
I don't know because you don't see the teeth when the
Well,
SD
the minute
card's
you're about
in.
to push it in, you see it before.
Yeah, but if you were to, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay, so going back to doors, I don't like floppy doors
A7
from the
floppy.
A7 III. My favorite kind of doors, I think I like what the Sony A7C did. They're waterproof. They're not waterproof, right?
It is water resistant. The
Oh,
body.
okay. So they are rubbery-ish, and they just flick open like little doors, right? Instead of completely coming out, they're just like little doors, which I think is they're flappy doors. I think that's
they
kind
don't
of
flap around.
They don't flap around.
Those are the ones like you'd have to on the A7 III in order to close the flappy doors, which is why I call them the Viagra doors, is because you'd have to realign everything and make sure they're firm enough that when you push it, they were going to snap into place. When these are held in place firmly, so there's no flappage.
Yeah, no flappage. You know, one of the complaints of the Nikon Z6 II is, so look at these doors. Here you have your headphone and your microphone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one attached flappy door. You know what I mean? And now it's the rubber is sort of hanging out and flopping around. But then when you put it back in, it's work. It's like putting a puzzle piece back in.
It's like you got to massage it. This is also a non-door you want too. This is the GoPro.
It's always in the way. Like the mount is in the way of the
You got
GoPro.
that thing, and then you gotta hope that you pull it out, and then you gotta tuck it in. And
The door flies off sometimes.
that was prevalent with the 8.
Yeah.
The 9 and 10 very good at not flying off.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
All right, cool.
There's
So
that.
for small camera, check out the Sony. The Nikon Z6 II. Their doors are little ones that open up.
this is not a Nikon.
Sorry, there's too many cameras
Omar,
on the
we're like,
table.
yeah, we have like 12 cameras on the table.
Okay,
probably.
this is the Fuji X70.
Right.
The flappy doors are just like your Sony. They're just little.
One door to rule them all.
Totally. All right, that's our dream camera. These little rigid plastic doors that open may not be waterproof, but it doesn't matter. That's our dream.
It's our dream. There's no rain in our dreams.
Like when you look at this D700, it's like being in a cockpit.
Listen,
you know?
you got your stick, you have the D-pad, you have everything you need. You have your ISO controls on top. So it's not full Fuji, but it's enough.
Yeah.
You have quick access to it.
Even the
especially-
focus modes are on here. I didn't
Exactly.
look at that. They have a focus dial.
everything you need is on these bodies. Now you can't translate that to mirrorless as quickly because, as Omar said, 1, cost, and 2, sheer size. You don't have as much body to put all these features on. But this is my dream camera.
It's a
baby.
dream. It's a dream.
So for my dream camera, you would be laid out such as the Nikon D700, D850. They're kind of in the very same neighborhood.
Okay, so for me, the shutter is the type. First of all, the on-off switch has to be on the shutter. One of my deal breakers with the Canon series is that they, on the mirrorless, started putting the the on-off switch by itself on the left.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Look at all the cameras on the table here. They all turn on where the shutter is with your right hand. So you pick up
like you're supposed to.
So Canon has switched their on. That's how Canons used to turn on, and now they turn on with the left on off. That was a big faux pas for me. I think shutter sound. If your camera sounds too wimpy,
We're going back to the A7C now, so you can hear it.
A7C. Here we go. I don't like that at all.
It's like old-fashioned.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those Nikon commercials where they're taking pictures of the tennis
Yes,
player.
That's what I thought of. Like I just think old and like by men and
Yeah. Very 80s. Oh my God, we're so dating ourselves right now. Those old commercials for
Yes.
Canon, they're like, wow.
better than Minolta.
Exactly. They always use shutter sounds. Okay. The controls on your camera, you were raised with Nikon, which was a back dial, front dial. I was raised with Canon, which had a big wheel on the back.
Right.
And then Fujifilm has actual dials where you change all the controls. What kind of controls do you prefer to fix your exposure?
I would bring in the Fuji XT body style button controls on all my cameras, the big one and the small one, because you have everything you need if you need it there, or you could instantly turn it into straight electronic. You don't need to use the dials, but you have them there if you want them there.
I would agree if the Dream camera had better front and rear dials. So if the Fujifilms, like they're so tiny, like feel the rear dial on the Nikon Z6 II. You see, it's beefy.
Right, yeah.
It's tactile. So I agree. I know we're mixing small camera, big camera here, but I love what you said that like your ISO you see on the dial. Mm-hmm. I like the retro dials, but in run and gun, front and rear dial.
That's why I think the Fuji works, because you can, if you're doing a portrait session, you have time, you could work the top buttons as you need. Yeah. If not, you can instantly custom function button everything you need to flip.
I agree. I agree, except the Dream camera needs robust rear. Like, look, oh man, feel that one from the D700. Feel how rubbery and nice that is.
That's nice.
See, that's nice.
That
and
reminds me.
Now go touch the Fujifilm one.
No, I don't want to. It's icky.
Exactly. No. All right, so I prefer. It's so weird. I was so used to the Canon dial for aperture, but my favorite way to change aperture is on the lens. The only Sony lens I have is a 20 millimeter, and it has an aperture wheel. And what's great is when you're shooting an event, if you look at your camera and your flash is too bright, you could just click the aperture to like one stop. Mm-hmm. And then you don't have to reach for your flash or reach for your ISO or anything. You like can aperture a little bit.
Right.
So you can control your flash power with that aperture. I like that. Mm-hmm. But I've gotten so used to front and rear dial, I kind of like it.
I love that, and because, like you said, I came from Nikon. I imported it into my Sony life. I imported it into my Fuji life.
So you use the dials?
Oh, I definitely use front and back dial.
Oh, wow.
You know what? If I'm not using the buttons, I definitely have them mapped to kick in.
Got it. Okay, cool. On a small camera, I really don't worry about the dials because for street I shoot an aperture priority and my aperture's parked and my ISO is pretty much auto.
I completely agree with you. For me, a little flat top on my camera body and put everything pre-programmed in when I'm having fun.
Isn't it funny? Like the larger the camera, the more controls you want. And then for our little street small cameras,
you kind of want brain.
Yeah. You want to use your brain for something else.
Right. You want to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And then not have to worry about is the shutter aperture speed corrected here.
You know what I'm looking at? I mean, we don't own this camera or haven't used them, but the Ricoh little GR, it's all right-handed control. They built it so that you never have to use your left hand at all. Which is great when you're on the street. Even for manual focus is one of the dials. You don't have to bring your other hand up.
I really have to try this Chico.
The Chico. That's the Puerto Rican brand.
Chico. Ven aquí, let me try you.
El Chico Chiquito.
I got to really try one of these cameras, though.
I'm so used. I'm going to try to pick up a little used Ricoh 2. It seems to have like an older sensor that's nice.
The snob in me won't pick it up. The battery life is so bad.
Yeah,
you know what?
No,
it's so bad to what I've become accustomed to.
True.
It's not bad for
all right,
when
we'll
it came out.
We'll get to batteries. Come on. Okay. Customization on your large camera, what would your dream camera have as far as controls go?
To me, as long
Sorry, I sort of mixed up two categories
I know you
here,
did,
but
that's okay.
Let's go back to
Customization.
Yeah, let's do customization. Let's move ahead.
Oh, you want? Yeah, we kind of covered the other one mostly, right?
Yeah.
So customization, I think you need to have something that Canon offers you,
Yeah.
or that Nikon offers you. They have such an abundance of function buttons. And
I
to
would
me-
say Sony though led the charge with C1, C3, C9 over here.
You're right. I'm thinking I've been so far removed from that camera that I forgot how many C
my
buttons
God.
on there. 4, right?
Yes.
4 C buttons at least, and
Yeah,
then other things you could on top of that.
I mean, if anything, Nikon and Canon sort of like had to do something.
But the reason why I didn't jump on the Sony is because to get to the menu to customize them isn't as simple as it could be.
True.
It's not as bad as other systems, but it's not. It didn't come to me when I thought of quickness and easeability. I thought of 2 other cameras, but we'll talk about that when we're talking about the menu system.
Yeah. So for large camera, for me, the Sony lets you customize any button to do anything, which is awesome. So if someone were to hand you that, one time you handed me your A7 III, and I was like lost.
Just like I gave you a roadmap to hell.
Exactly.
You
So
didn't know where you're going.
you make the camera completely yours, and I think that is the best dream camera. Is that the camera company lets you make any button do anything that works for you. And Fujifilm is great for this too. Their function buttons you can use for almost anything. Even some newer cameras, the Q menu, which like used to be sacrilegious. It's only the quick menu. They made it customizable or turn offable.
Right.
And Nikon has to catch up because these 4 buttons down here, one of the 2 of the valuable buttons are zoom in buttons, which is
Right.
dumb because you can pinch to zoom.
Right, especially with today's technology.
Today's technology.
They're overthinking it. But then again, I had a DA50 and didn't realize it was a touch camera. So
Oh my gosh.
some people just buy the camera and then just keep moving.
That's true.
So
you
they-
can use it as a non.
They do it for the
customizable.
old timers like me.
Yeah, you know what? I never thought of that. There must be a lot of people that just shoot their camera default. And I'll give you an example. Like on my Fujifilm camera, I would take pictures and the white balance was completely red for the longest time. Like everything was red. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What had happened, yo?
Oh, go ahead, baby.
The D-pad, the right side was white balance. And so I would be holding the camera and I would be switching the white balance and then shifting it to red. So that little graph, and they would be laughing at me, the camera. When I
I
would,
was like, you stupid.
yeah. So I switched that right side to be something that wasn't so drastic.
And I switched it on my Fujis too because of Omar's video.
Oh, check that out. Awesome. Okay. Best menu system you've dealt with.
Nikon. And the reason I say Nikon, I'm not basing this off the system. I'm basing it
It's pretty
off
much the same, by the way.
because it had my old Nikons had this A menu, this D menu,
know.
and then like I
Color coded.
always knew that my F was for my focus modes and stuff like that.
That's
like
crazy.
I knew exactly where to go. So to me, it was such a intuitively simple color by numbers type
Yeah.
of menu. So while it's not the most robust menu, it is an easy to follow menu.
Yes, agreed. I like. I want to say Canon because that's what I started with. I like that Canon had the pages across, and it didn't go page after page after page. It was color coded as well. So with Canon, I always knew that yellow was my settings, and that red was like the main stuff, and that purple was like autofocus. Same thing. It was color coded and easy to follow. We all know who the worst at this
You
table
better not
is.
put Sony in the comments. We'll find you. We'll drive to your house and we'll knuckle you.
In fairness to Sony, they've changed their menu system.
But-
They finally listened, but we don't have it.
The masses can't appreciate it yet.
Yeah, the
Until
masses.
it's on an entry level, until it's on an entry level camera, very few people can appreciate it.
I know.
'Cause who has $4,000 to put on a A7S3?
I know. I will say that check out this cool feature on the touchscreen on a Nikon Z6 II. If I hit menu, right? Let me hit menu here. If I scroll up, it goes to the next entire set on the list. So you just scroll up once and it knocks to the. You don't have to like scroll or use a D-pad.
Right. Very nice.
So really nice, and the touch is like amazing.
It
I
is.
just ruined my camera. I just
Freaking reset it. It's over.
Diffraction compensation. I want that on.
That's what she said. Hey!
Ooh.
All right.
Okay, next. So that's the menu system. Dream camera for me would have the Nikon slash Canon. Fujifilm to me, I know how to read it because I've taught it, but I'm starting to think as a beginner sometimes, and it's kind of daunting to find. I do like that that Fujifilm has like an across, like you can dive deeper into stuff. So that kind of works for me a little bit. Okay.
That goes for both small and big.
Small and big.
That's a new rap song.
Okay, next. We're going to separate these two. Focus system, that means switching through the modes, versus performance. We might as well just say performance is like Sony all the way.
Right. There's not even... Really?
I know. So
Is that what you thought? Because you're wrong.
Yeah. So as much as we knocked their menu in the last category, their focus system is unbelievable.
Hands down. It's like no one's even in the park yet. You know,
they're getting there. I mean, the Canon. I haven't picked up a Canon R5, but the R6 was pretty much there.
A lot of the competition has become very respectable.
Yeah.
But never, if you said, Mo, you have to get this shot, I would never pick anything else yet.
Agreed. As an event photographer, the stickiness and it grabs about 90 plus %.
And then now with this tap to lock focus on one certain subject if you need to, while that thing is dancing all over your screen, it holds it.
It holds, yeah. See, that's the thing. Everyone who's a Nikon sort of ambassador is saying how it's kind of the same as Sony, but it's not. As a user of Nikon, it loses sometimes. Like you have this little lock-on box, and it's like, what's that?
Ooh, sandwiches.
Yeah. It's it'll be sticky, but then it's not. And sometimes it sticks like over here instead of the what you pointed to. Right. So it's not there yet, but they're with the Nikon Z9 coming out. I think it should hopefully they'll up the firmware. So the focus speed, we're all going to say Dream camera would be Sony's system. But what about like switching between, let's say, single, continuous, and manual?
I will default to you because you do that on a regular. I don't.
You're always on single?
I'm always on whatever I'm going to be that day. So
yeah, but I'm saying switching between them. What way do you like to switch? Either a touch screen, a knob?
Scroll. Who does that? Fuji does that, right?
No, Fuji has a front. Fuji has like the little front guy.
Okay. Oh, I'm thinking about like I make my dot bigger, smaller, but I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I'm talking about continuous, single, or manual. Fuji wins for the little dial on the front, which, by the way, they're taking out of the new, simpler, minimalistic cameras.
The XT30 too?
The XT30 E4 got rid of it.
/2. Whatever.
No, that still has it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think changing modes, you get used to all this stuff, but I like having a manual front. I like the Fujifilm for both big and small. I love that because your hand is there anyway. So you could be like...
Okay. Mirrorless doesn't have it on the Nikon?
Nikon is you push a button and then you scroll through the three, which, by the way, you always go the wrong way and you're like, oh, I'm in manual mode.
Because the DSLR bars had it on the outside. So
this D700 has it.
All right. Well, like I said, technology is not always the best thing. I mean, it's just because you make some things better, you have to sacrifice other things, right?
Totally.
That's why we're making the perfect camera. We're not sacrificing nothing.
So far, our camera has a beautiful grip. It has knobs and ISO dials. It's got top window or no top window?
You know what? I would like a top window just in case.
What do you want on there?
I want to have my metering. All right. I want to see my mode.
All right.
My mode. And I definitely want to see battery life.
Agreed.
3 things that I could just look down at my camera and see.
Top info is great. And I don't need a histogram up there.
No.
I mean,
it's nice. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Going back to our list. Next on our list is battery. Best battery you put in your dream camera. I mean, this is a little tricky because
they're all getting better.
They are getting better.
They're all getting better, but I still, again, this is a Sony one.
It's a Sony. By far, the Z battery is the best battery I've ever used. I shoot an event 1 1/4 batteries, and it's like 8 hours.
And I guarantee that quarter is just for safety. You switch it out.
Totally. It still has 1 bar.
Yeah, you switch it out for safety because I've never run out a battery at an event. That's not true. No, that is true. I've ran out flash batteries real quick.
Yeah,
my goodness, batteries flash.
I would say For small camera, the best small camera batteries, maybe like you said, the 6500, but that's the Z.
But they're using the adult battery.
Oh, they're using the adult battery.
And that's why I'm not going to say the Fuji X-T4 because they're using a brand new battery altogether too.
We're considering the X-T4 big. I think that's a big camera.
because ultimately it's a big boy camera.
So let's say these the pocketable ones. I feel like the GoPro batteries suck. Mine anyway. From the 8, they run out like within an hour.
The 910 are bigger now.
Oh, that's true. They are bigger.
So they're still not an all-day battery.
It's not known for battery, yeah.
But it's a respectable battery.
Okay. You definitely need multiples.
Yeah. I have 4.
Jesus.
I've never had to use more than 1.5.
Oh wow, you're overkilling.
But
I shouldn't talk. When I go out with my Fujifilms, I have 5 batteries. Like if I'm going to be shooting a war. By the way, the Nikon Z6 II, man, it's like for every event, I'm like 2 and going into the 3rd.
wow.
Yeah, I think part of it is that the screen and the EVF are so nice.
Yeah, 18 billion dot.
Yeah,
EVFs.
every dot is sucking juice.
Like, oh, that's delicious.
So the battery life hasn't been that. I don't care though. The images that come from this are insane. And then I don't mind the Fujifilm batteries for small.
What's that new Sony that you had, the V? How's the battery?
ZV-1?
How's the battery on that thing?
It's not bad for. I mean, look at the battery on this thing. You're gonna laugh. Look at this thing. Hold on.
Oh yeah. It's exactly They haven't changed at all.
It's so small, but you know
it's a
what?
little
I
bigger.
recorded over an hour with one of them,
That's what you need.
and I got 2. So it's like for casual filming, it's fine.
Like if you're filming over 2 hours of your own personal life per day, you
It's
got
like,
problems.
Yeah, you got. Your life's
problems,
really
baby.
interesting.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, Zach. What kind of inputs do you like?
My.
It's getting personal up in here.
So, my dream camera would have either full size HDMI
That's
or
very dreamy. I like that.
or mini, at least.
Mini, yeah. It was
Not
like,
micro.
Yeah, no.
So the
micro.
very minimum is
In my dream, micro has been destroyed.
because if you could have full HDMI on a GH5,
yeah,
why can't you have it on a regular mirrorless camera of my dream?
yeah, I'll take that. Full. I'll take full. My dream was going to be mini, which is decent, but screw it, man. Like full
We're dreaming,
HDMI.
baby.
It's
We're
dream.
in.
We're dreaming.
Let's just make it happen.
Let's go.
All right. Yeah.
USB-C, of course, and the
USB-C.
camera has to be able to be charged.
Charge through the USB port, USB-C port, headphones, mic jack.
I don't need headphone.
I do.
You monitor your audio?
You know what? When I'm recording outdoors, facing away from the camera, I like to hear things. I like to see what's going on. So it's not a must, but it's my dream world.
Because I think I must have cameras that don't have the headphone jack, like this 6400, and I go by the bar, and it always works for me.
Well, that works too. So if my point of view is if you are going to give me a full size HDMI, I will live without the headphone
Yeah, you're
jack.
right. You're right.
I found that without the headphones, you can't tell the exact volume output of
You
what's
can't
going
even
on.
tell like ambient
No,
sound.
then
and
you
all
get
that.
home and you're hearing like the jungles of South Africa.
I know. We have
Like,
like
what the heck?
cicadas.
Like,
Someone in my comments was like, "What kind of bugs are those?"
Them sound vicious.
It's like,
Tan sucio.
okay. Ethernet. I don't need that.
No need for that.
I don't know. I'm not shooting sports here.
No.
God, imagine your job if you need like your camera connected to Ethernet.
Full speed, gigabyte.
We need those images now.
Roger, come over.
So that means there's someone is at the control center getting them those football images.
Exactly.
Crazy.
It is insane.
All right, cool. I'm glad I'm not there. All right, I love this one because it's very interesting. The EVF. Let's mix it up. Let's start with a small camera because they usually get the shaft as far as EVF goes. Do you need one? And if there is one, dream camera versus reality, what are you thinking?
I would have a full size EVF
On a small.
And you know what? Coming from my full frame camera right now, which is the A7C, as you can see,
It has a tiny EVF.
this EVF is usable.
Yeah, usable.
It's it. It's not something like you don't spend extra time on your EVF if you don't have to.
I know, but how dreamish are we going here? Because if you put a 5 billion dot EVF on a small street camera, is it going to be small?
So that's the problem. You have to pick and choose your poison. So this XE2 right?
It's probably a little less than that guy.
It's bigger because it's more squared out. It's rounder. It's more eye rest.
So you're saying more like you want more eye area.
Right. So, for instance, if you give me 3 million dots in here and a nice little squared out opening, I'm good.
Even if it sticks out?
If it sticks out, it doesn't matter, because if we stick out this way, we're good. Because if most of the people who are left eye dominant are rubbing their nose against the screen anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
So, what's a little bit protrusion? It takes your nose off the screen.
So here's my dream camera. Talking EVF on a small, I almost don't even use them anymore. So if I'm going dream, I'm going to go with you. Give me one that's like, wow, I can't believe this small camera has such a big EVF,
Right.
which doesn't exist.
No.
But they're almost so unusable that I've been using the back screen,
Makes sense.
which is great for composing and stuff. So small camera, I seem to like hold the camera out more unless it's really sunny.
How about do you feel the need that you need to have an optional optical or EVF?
No, not at all.
You're done
in
with the
my
optical?
dream.
You're done
I don't
with
need optical. at
Optical
all.
is out the window.
No,
Not in our age group anymore. That's what it comes down to.
Maybe an EVF that is a little bit more realistic or dimmable. One of the issues you have is when you shoot with an EVF too much, like in an event, you take your eye off that mother and you're like,
I can't see.
you know what I'm saying? So if there was something that was very realistic, 240, like refresh rate is so ridiculous that it's like, wow. It's
It makes real life look slow.
Yes. Like you have supervision. I could see that being in the dream camera in a large. I think the best EVF I ever used was, I think it was the Fujifilm X100S. One of them had 5 million dots. And I think it was the X100S. And man, it was like you were in the room. You were like looking around at the picture. Super clear. And I loved it.
That's how I feel when I use the Fuji X-T4 now, because of because of the A7C. I feel like the Fuji has like a trillion dots in there. It probably doesn't, but
I know everything's relative, right? I after using the X-T3, I went back to the X-T2 and I'm like, what is this?
who's that?
This is ridiculous.
They're in there like Fred Flintstone here.
Yeah, I'm like, who made this? Okay. All right. How many frames a second in your dream camera? You need 30, 40? Or are you all right? What's
Look, give me 5 to 10 because of
8,
how
then.
I shoot. Okay. Sold.
Done.
No, seriously, like I don't need 14. I don't want 3,
So let's say you are invited to like a safari though, and there's like birds shooting out of like the
If
water.
I can't capture it within 15 shots in that 1 second, I'm not good enough anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
I shouldn't be in that damn safari.
Do you know there was like, I forgot what camera it was, but there was one that was like, there was a camera that was pre-shooting. So like if the whale.
It was really happy to see you. Hey now.
Oh, yeah. It's a problem, doctor.
Oh my.
I think I know what camera it was. It was a Fujifilm that before you hit the shutter, it was like, like iPhone.
Pre-registering photos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you wouldn't miss the whale sort of like breaching kind of thing.
I mean,
is that weird?
That's a great feature to have. And if you want, now what's the thing? If you turn it on, you're going to kill the battery, right? And then if you don't remember to turn it off, if you don't remember to turn it on, it's useless.
Well, yeah, but I don't even know how that technology works. Like, how does it, when you push it must be always recording.
It's always recording.
Got it.
So that's how a lot of these cell phones do it. They're always
like passively.
Once you open up the app, or once you turn on the camera, it starts recording in an overlaying level.
Oh.
So it takes like 5 seconds overlaying, 5 seconds overlaying, 5 seconds overlaying. And then when you turn it off, it takes another 5 seconds worth. So that way you don't miss anything in the beginning, you don't miss anything at the end.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But of course, that is a battery drinker.
Totally.
Delicious.
Hey, would your dream camera be able to change depth of field and stuff in camera after?
No.
You don't like that?
No.
Like if you shot something at f9 and you're like, you know what, I want this with portrait mode.
I understand how people enjoy that. The only time I like to fake photography is when I'm in Photoshop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or your phone with portrait mode.
Right.
Kind of
But if
thing.
I'm using my camera, I want to already...
You want it to do what it physically, like a shallow depth of field is because of the lens opening.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not... I love portrait mode on phones. I hate those you could refocus.
Okay, I will say dream camera, big camera. I agree with you. However, playing devil's advocate a little bit is as an event photographer, sometimes the camera likes the person behind my partier. You know, just by there, I'm shooting at f2 maybe because it's dark, and the person behind gets in focus. So I would love like a little bit of focus play.
I get you. I understand.
Instead of aperture play.
So then I'll take my step back here.
All right.
On my
You're taking my idea?
On my professional camera, if I go into event mode, I want that option.
That's cool.
I want that option in event mode.
Like purist mode?
Right. But if I'm on
snob mode,
if I'm on home drinking my $800 coffee, because you know coffee is like $20 a pound now.
Yeah, totally.
So if I'm home, I don't want my camera to full focus for me.
Yeah,
full aperture for me.
Yeah, full aperture.
Full aperture.
But you will take full focus. All right. I like that in the dream camera. I need that because sometimes you miss. As good as I am.
You don't miss. The camera misses, and then it blames you.
Let's talk about the back screen because this is a very polarizing topic. If you had the perfect large camera that you take everywhere, what kind of screen would you want? So we talked about this a little bit.
We're talking about like...
Let's talk about flipping first.
Flipping. All right, so to me...
Because obviously we want the crazy resolution, like make it super crispy like this guy.
So if we are... To me, perfect would be both. A flip up, tilt... All three. Flip up, tilt down, articulate.
Let me ask you this. Do you like it articulated to the right? I mean, sorry, out, flap to the side, or do you like it on top? So many sexual innuendos in the show.
I need both because...
Oh, you need both.
I'm like that. I need both. So because if I'm at home, I want it out to the side so I could just tap it and be able to kind of look forward and see out of the corner of my eye what's going on. And you could do the same thing with it up, but I prefer it on the side.
I think it's humanly impossible to peripheral not look.
Oh, I'm not saying I didn't look.
I'm saying like if it's to the side, I want it with this a ZV-1.
But if it's up, you're still gonna look up too.
But up is like people don't notice.
People
up.
Notice up.
No one notices.
I notice when you look up. You dirty 6400 looker.
Yeah, I do look up, but I love the up screen. I gotta say, I know it's a pain to put a microphone on top, but I prefer the up screen. And there are cameras that like you can have a camera that it flips up for photography and then continues and is at the top. Like
Right.
I'll take that. It's my dream camera.
No, I think to me, because I put my Rode wireless mics on the top, and
Yeah.
I do like it to the side more now.
Okay.
But when I had the 6400 and the 6600, I loved it from the top.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what you need and what you use.
I got an idea for a dream camera accessory. You see how like the small rig has a cage that gives you an extra little
Achoo.
cold shoe because it doesn't really.
Achoo.
Yeah. The cold shoe lets you put in the mic there. So cameras should maybe in the box come with an extra space where you could put a wireless
On the
mic
battery door.
Yeah. You take the battery door off and you put something else.
A reversible battery door.
I love it. It's like you're in the pitch meeting. Mo, do you have any ideas for this week's reversible?
It has a locking mechanism that when you spin it,
And everyone's staring at you at the big
it's the
board.
most powerful animal in the world.
Who hired this guy? Okay, so, all right. And overall, oh, by the way, for a small camera, street camera-wise, I don't do video on street camera, so I just need the flip up. I hate the fully articulating.
Tilting.
Definitely I just need tilting.
That's all you need for the
I do
streets.
not like fully articulating for
Not
photography.
for the streets.
Okay, good.
Not for the streets. It's for video I'm talking about.
For video.
Yeah, for video I prefer the articulated. But that's why I want that camera we were just talking about that does it, that gives you up and all the way out, as well as zip and then pull off and twist out.
Yeah, if you understood that visually, like
Yes.
those of you listening. All right, next one is overall lens lineup. Ooh, dream. This has to be something based on reality. Like
So I would stay in the Sony family.
the Sufu.
The Sufu. Sufu Sony. They're the Native American
That's what our
cameras.
dream camera is called. It's all the names.
the
Sufu-kan. Sufu-kan.
So yes, because everyone makes a lens for Sony. I make lenses for Sony.
In my basement.
They don't call me back.
You're like the Russian guy in Iron Man 2. He's like, working on the Whiplash.
I make the lens. They don't
my
call
bird.
me. My bird.
I want the bird.
Oh,
I
man.
love that movie. Anyway, here's the thing. Actual Sony lenses are like really overpriced, and then the third-party ones, like Tamron, I love their lenses. I use them for my events, but they're so plasticky, kind of. So I wouldn't want them for my dream camera.
So for your drink, you would go all Leica?
Well, I'm gonna be like total nerd boy here. I am. Let me think about this. The Canon R 50 millimeter 1.2. That was a dream lens. Like the portraits that came from that are. They were so beautiful. They were like filmic and gorgeous, and so that to me is like a dream lens. But overall, the RF line of lenses is the same as like the Sony. It's like so premium and so overpriced.
Right.
But if we're talking dream, is that what we're talking?
But
you and I
dream has
kinda,
to be affordable as well.
Yeah,
too.
I know.
I mean, it's someone's going to hand us this dream camera, but then we have to maintain it, right?
we have to buy lenses
Oh my
for
goodness! So listen, I will stick to what I said. I will stick with the Sony mount, E mount, FE mount, because there's just so many different options. You have
There's like small, there's street,
there's premium third party, there's garbage third party, there's premium officials,
Yeah,
there's
that's
garbage
true.
officials. You have so much to choose from that you'll never not have the lens you
Isn't
need.
it funny? We had this conversation maybe 2 years ago. It wasn't the case. It was kind of like there's no lenses for it.
Right, and then all of a sudden, everyone's making a 35, everyone's making a 50 for
I
it, everyone's
know.
making an 85.
Now, for small camera,
Field
Fujifilm
trucks.
all the way. Fujifilm, I love that their lenses are so small for like a small travel camera. Like you and I were talking about the 18 to 55. It's like the only thing you need,
That's
you
all
know? And
I think you're right. It is the greatest small camera lens mount out there.
yeah. And let's see, those of you that are like Leica and Panasonic, like Panasonic lenses are also really great. And we just don't know that much about Panasonic and Olympus.
The L mounts and stuff like
They're
that. L mounts, no?
the Alliance. What is it that Fro says?
Leo.
The L Mount Alliance.
So that's what I'm saying. I can't wish that because I never played with one.
You know, my favorite line of lenses, got a little special place in my heart, is the Art series by Sigma. I've got two of them right over there, one for the Sony and one for the Nikon. And they just have like a nice look to there's like that.
They help give soul to
Yeah,
a photo
they have
that your
soul.
digital lens sensor can't do.
Yeah, exactly. So now the Z series, they're incredible lenses. They also have like a filmic look to them. So I'm liking the Z, but they have like this little window up here. They're so expensive. It's crazy. This was $2,000.
Just to look at it.
I know.
You want
Sir,
buy
you
it?
want it? That's another $2,000.
Cash, boom.
All right. Video features. We're not videographers, but we do a little bit of video. Which video features 4K 60, 120? Do you need a K? What's your dream camera have?
It has a separate.
Let's say big first.
So my big one would have a separate video record button.
Agreed. A switch or a
Either
button?
a switch or a button. Like doesn't the A7C have a record button on the? Sorry,
A7 III?
A7 III have a little record button on the back when you're recording.
Does. So you're saying
Like,
you're
it doesn't have to be in that position, but I would want a separation
Now,
of my shutter to my.
got it. So you need a
Video.
red record button. Let me
Yes.
ask you this: do you want your dream camera to, if you're shooting stills, that the record button just will make a movie right away?
No,
No. You want to change it to a movie mode?
no, because if let me step back and understand your question. You're asking me, do I want the shutter and the video button that the minute I hit the video button it starts making a movie, or my
Yeah.
shutter to make a movie?
No. I'm talking like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah,
you're in
yeah.
stills mode,
That's-
but hey, something's
Yes,
happening.
that's why I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I want a separate button.
Oh, I understand.
So the minute I hit
I
that button,
understand.
it starts recording, and it will already have a preset to that button.
No, okay, cool. So it has like the settings.
So I would go into mode M.
most of them can't do that, by the way. So that's pretty
Dreamy.
Dreamy.
So this is my dream, right?
Yeah, totally.
So the mode would be called M/P for either movie photo,
MP, yes.
MP, and that MB, and whatever I do, I would have that specific mode programmed for video, these settings, and program for shutter button.
I'm going to
these
make your
buttons.
dreams a reality. Well, your XT4 can do that, but you have to switch the
it.
mode.
Right. I don't want to be switching modes.
Yeah, the thing with
and then forget.
the thing with switching modes is, can you take photographs in video mode? The backwards question. Can you do that? Do you know?
No, but you can take screenshots of the movie later.
True. You can grab.
Screenshots,
I don't want to
stills.
do. See,
If you're
on my
filming-
old on my 5D Mark II, I used to record. We'd be in Italy, and we'd be like, I'd be shooting like a little bit of movie, and the kid would look beautiful, or my kid would be doing something. I could push the shutter, and I'd get a still. Like it would go right to a photograph. Now, what I see on the video side is it just flashes. Like your movie is slightly ruined, but you grab the photo, you grab the still. I think to me, my dream camera can do it like that. Actually, both ways is a dream. That if I'm in stills mode and I hit, like you said, the red record button, it starts taking a movie in like the movie settings.
Right.
But then it'll ruin your photo settings.
Right. In my world, I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
So you're only gonna film when you hit that button.
Agreed.
Once you go into movie mode, you're locked until you're unmovie mode.
Yeah. Well, the Fujifilm X-T3 and X-T4, once you hit that rocker to movie mode, it saves like your film simulation and your shutter and everything. So it's kind of cool that now the camera, same with Nikon, if I go to movie mode, it forgets all the photo stuff.
Good.
Even the custom buttons, by the way.
Oh, stupid.
Yeah,
I forget
crazy. So our dream camera can record anything at any time. We just think about it, and it happens. With the Ethernet cable connected to your brain. Camera app, that one's easy.
Is there really a good camera app though?
The Nikon one.
I have not used the new.
It's called SnapBridge. And
yeah. SnapBridge was garbage when I had it.
No,
back in the day.
now if you have the Bluetooth turned on, you could be shooting vacation photos. When you go to your phone later at the diner, they're all there.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's just like working in the background.
Well, I think that's what people who have Fuji keep telling me to do to my Fuji and my.
The Fuji app is garbage.
Well, it's hot garbage.
Yeah, and the Sony one's like a little confusing too. It's not horrible, but
it's garbage. It's hot garbage on the Fuji. It's warm garbage on the Sony.
It's like warm garbage.
Those apps have been untouched since my last haircut.
Hey, good one. Okay. So, overall, to sum up, our dream cameras would just, have what works for us. And that's the point, is everything we've said may not pertain to what your dream camera is. And I think that's why this episode was fun, because it was a discussion of
just what we would dream about.
I know.
And, we take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, a little bit of brand new, make it up yourself on the go. That's what we did this episode for. But it's not what we think. What do you guys think?
What is the dream feature that you would want in your dream camera? Or maybe give us all the features. Let's see.
We'll take them all.
Yeah.
We'll take them all.
To end.
All ends.
Would you take a tiny camera like this that is full frame and has a pancake lens and is bocalicious?
Yes. Give it to me now. Give it to me right now.
All right, guys. That was fun. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace, son. What the hell? What are we doing because of COVID? I got to wash my hand.
He's already gone.